I want to get to, because I've been following your career too. I remember when I first became aware of you, you still had a job. I remember like you tweeting about like being at work, you know what I'm saying? And so how did you do that transit? Where were you working at first? And then when was the point where you realized like, man, forget this job, I'm finna just focus on doing YouTube full time?
I quit my job February 2011. I had 15 jobs before the age of 21.
Damn.
Yeah, 15. Primerica, Winn-Dixie, Chevron gas station, Chuck E. Cheese, car wash. I was doing every goddamn thing.
Now, was you quitting or was you getting fired?
I technically got fired from one out of all the jobs. I was one of the type cats that would quit my job before I got fired. So if I felt the steam boiling in the pot, I'd be like, all right, man, I guess today I'm gonna tell y'all this is my last day. Or I will go home and not show up to work for a couple of days. They will call me and I'll be like, I told y'all I quit. I ain't tell y'all that. I ain't tell y'all that. So that's what happened. But the transition from me quitting my job was 2011. I was working with kids at a program of level 8. It was called the Center for Drug-Free Living. And I was supposed to be hired as a counselor, but I was way too young. Way too young. I was like 21 years old or whatever, 22. And the thing about it was, that was like a dream job to me. Not like specifically dream job, because what I was doing, I was working with at-risk kids for 2-3 years in the city of Orlando. I would drive from Bradenton, an hour and a half away, and go to the jail, the 33rd Street jail, for like 2-3 years straight on my unemployment check, and talk to the kid. So I've always wanted to be around there. I knew people that was working with them. I didn't want to be a correctional officer. I didn't want to do that. I'm like, well, I don't really know where else to work at. They're like, well, you need to move back to Orlando. I had already moved from Orlando because I had spent like 2 years, a year there after I quit school. Then I went back. I got fired.
You quit high school or college?
Nah, I quit college.
Okay.
I ain't quitting. Hey, I got my diploma now.
Okay. I mean, shit. Hey, Drake quit high school. Chris Rock quit high school. So, hey, man, you never know.
That's them. I got my papers. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
I got my high school diploma. But you know, people were like, well, how come you just won't get a job out here? I didn't want to do that. So somebody hooked me up with a job called the Center for Drug-Free Living. I was there for almost going on 2 years. And it was basically a chance for me to be around at-risk kids. I never really liked being around kids who were like, you know, I guess the good kids or someone like that. I was always someone who could get off on like being around people who were at risk, who had situations at home. So I was hired as a program specialist. A program specialist is basically like a little baby CO. It's just that you're not a CO with license or whatever. So if the kids cut up, you got to watch over in the day room, 30 kids per cottage. And that's how it all happened. Now, how I quit, I remember this is how I got fired from Walmart. Now, this all, it's like a chain effect.
Uh-huh.
I got fired from Walmart because my boss, my electronic manager, discovered my videos on YouTube at the time. He saw me doing spoken word. He tried to embarrass me in front of customers and in front of everybody and say, hey, you know he do videos. You know who do videos. I'm like, all right. So one day I overrided a TV, but I didn't override it. You had to get manager approval. And the manager that overrided the TV, that was like a couple $100 that somebody wanted to get knocked down. They override that TV. The next day I got fired for that same TV from the same manager who override that TV. And they said, why you override the TV? I'm like, motherfucker, the manager is sitting right here. They didn't care. They fired me. And I looked at him. I said, you see this newspaper right here? I'm going to be in this bitch next month. I didn't know how I was going to be in that joker. I went out, did a stand-up comedy contest, beat like 100-something people, won that joker. Then I got the job with the Center for Drug-Free Living. And the reason why I quit was because my YouTube channel was boiling while I had it. I had wrecked my car. And with that car, what I wrecked, I took that money, went and bought me a 60D camera, went and got me a laptop, an Apple laptop. And I told my coworkers the next day, and I said, look, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, but I'm finna retire real soon. They said, look, nigga, what you talking about? You finna retire. I said, I'm finna retire from a 9 to 5. They said, all right, whatever. I guess a couple of days later, I got into a scuffle, a fight with one of the little kids for talking disrespectful from St. Pete.
From St. Pete, hey, shout out to St. Pete, everybody. That's where I'm from. You know what I'm saying?
I know he don't know who he is, but I've been trying to find this little motherfucker for years.
Hey, he's probably in jail.
Hey, Bingham's, where you at?
What's his name?
Biggums or Bingham's. That's his last name. That's all I'm gonna say. He know who he is. But
I'm gonna look him up when next time I go to St. Pete.
But we got in a scuffle.
Wait a minute, what y'all got? So wait a minute, you can't be fighting the kids at the center.
Well, here's the thing. This is why you don't see a lot of like boot camp stuff no more. This is why all this stuff going on with these people getting their neck stepped on by folks. The same thing happened with kids. Just the other week, I think in Kalamazoo, Michigan, a kid was restrained the wrong way. He was throwing food at one of the other kids. They restrained him the wrong way, and he basically died on the floor. So that shit be real, and I'm glad I got out of that. I wasn't abusing the kids, but there's a certain part where the system allows you to basically you gotta be gorilla with them. You can't go in there acting all soft and shit because they're gonna run you over. You're gonna have a hard shift. So he wasn't one of the kids in my cottage. He was someone that got transferred from a fight, so he wasn't supposed to be there anyway.
Well, let's get to the real important question. Who won the fight?
Well, it wasn't a fight. It wasn't really necessarily a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like he was swinging on me, I was swinging on him. It's you grab him, you try to restrain them, and then they'll start jerking you around too. Okay. So when that shit started happening on camera, all the other people started coming in, they got him out, and I said, you know what? Give me my keys, I'm out, and I just went home. That was the last time I had a job.
Hey man, shout out to that. I think people need to realize, like, and what I'm learning too is like everything that happened in your life, it should be looked at as a blessing in disguise. Yeah. You know, because all of that happened kind of really forced your hand to push you to be like, man, forget this 9 to 5. I'm finna go and pursue my passion full time.
Yeah, exactly. And when I got home that day, right after I quit my job, my roommate was like, damn, you home already? Because I had just left the crib like within an hour. He's like, damn, right. you back already? You off? I said, nah, bro, I'm fired.
And he was in the bathroom. He probably was in the bathroom with lotion and toilet paper. Like, God damn, nigga, I'm trying to get this off real quick.
That nigga was on the couch. I went in the room. I shut the door. I had an air mattress, and I got on my knees and I prayed. And I just asked God to just guide me through all this, man. I made certain promises that I wouldn't break. I still won't break to this day. And
you mind sharing what one of them was?
If I stop doing what I'm doing, if I stop delivering the message, you can take everything away from me.
Straight up.
That was the only one. If I stop doing your work, take it all away. That could include my life. That was the only thing, and I blew up within 2 months.
What was the video? First, two questions. What was the first year or the first video you posted, and then what was the video that made you blow up, that you felt like you started getting traction?
Well, I first started putting out videos in 07, 08.
Okay.
My channel was 08, but I was dropping videos on Facebook before Facebook was allowing people to drop videos. So I created my fan base off of Facebook first, off a personal page. Then I took them to a Facebook page. Then I took them to YouTube.
Gotcha.
So how I started blowing up, I really started blowing up with the Soldier Boys and stuff like that. Of course, asking all them questions. Of course, it wasn't like one specific video like, oh, he out here. Like, because my thing was gradual. For like 2 years straight or a year straight, I was on World Star for like 2 times a week, 2-3 times a week. They were taking everything I was putting up. So it wasn't like one video that was like, oh man, you out here now. It was a gradual process for me. So I've never felt like it was one video where it was like an overnighter. I don't feel like an overnight success. It never happened. It never happened for me. Maybe for a lot of other people, but I felt like if it had to happen overnight, my process would be a lot more harder than what it is now.